And first of all, I just want to start by saying congrats, brother. This was listen, man, I'll be honest with y'all. As we got into COVID, obviously, like all of y'all, we had no idea what to expect, right? Like, I'm just being real. We were in London. Our lovely wives are here. Maybe they'll join us on camera in a little bit. But I remember we went to London, and it was kind of like COVID was like, is this real? Is this like something we should be worried about? So we almost like thought about canceling London, but we're like, nah, we'll just go and we won't do handshakes and all of that. So we ended up going to London. And while we were over there, it seemed like it took off and got real. And so by the time we made it back, as soon as we got back, we were supposed to go to, I think, Phoenix or something like that, or Arizona. We had a trip and it got canceled. And they were like, yo, we shutting everything down. And probably about 4 or 5 days later, after things were shut down, we were like, man, I told you, I said, man, bro, I know we talked about doing the book and it seemed like maybe it was farther out, but you got this whole 14 thing you talked about, and I'll let you kind of talk about that, and then we'll say what we did in that 14 days to kind of launch this. But talk about why whole 14. I feel like that was kind of the catalyst to the book and kind of how that whole 14 mentality took us to this level where we got the book out now.
Yeah, so y'all, like CJ was saying, we were in London, and we didn't think that, out in London, everybody was talking about coronavirus, but we was like, man, we're from the United States. Coronavirus not even here like that yet. And it was like the second we got back to Chicago, it was just a different kind of world. And then I remember the news was even different. And then when we was watching CNN one day, I remember they were talking about, everyone who's traveled somewhere, anyone, who maybe feels sick, you need to quarantine for 14 days. And it was like, what's that 14 days all about? And they was just like, you need to quarantine for 14 days. So I'm hearing people like, oh man, right, we gotta, quarantine, we gotta stay in the house. And at that time, that's when I'm seeing people, like, oh man, I'm about to binge watch, Netflix, I'm about to do this, do that. Yep. And I thought back to when I was in a squad car. And I remember how police officers used to just, we had this thing called the hole. And that's where when you kind of got downtime, when there's nothing to do, the radio is not really busy. And during that time though, it was a lot of police officers that was just hanging out at Dunkin' Donuts. They were watching movies, DVDs, they were doing things, just what they like to call killing time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it blew me away when they was talking about killing time, because I'm like, time is the only asset you have. Why are you trying to kill the one thing that makes you successful? Yeah. And so that's when I was just like, man, here we go all over again, hole 14, here we go. In the hole though, while they was doing all of those things, that's when I used to go in. That's in the hole was when I used to go look at properties. Everybody that's been Make Real Estate Real heard that I looked at 77 properties before I bought my first one. I did all that in the hole. While other officers were sleeping and doing all this other stuff, I was going to vacant properties. I was working on my body while other officers were sitting outside of Dunkin' Donuts getting a extra large coffee with extra cream and extra sugar. In the hole was where I feel like that's when I created my business plan for every single business that we have. And so this reminded me of the hole all over again. I'm like, during this time period, people are going to do the same thing. They're going to sit back and kill time. You got people that's frustrated. Their jobs told them, you ain't got to go to work no more. Stay at home. And people are mad. And I'm tripping like, how you mad? Like, you finally got the free time that you needed to work on that business plan. You finally got the free time you needed to work on your body. Better yet, you finally got the free time that you've been praying for to work on your marriage. And instead of doing that, you just wasting time again. You killing time. It was a thing that I once heard, that I've never seen a man on his deathbed say, I wish I had more money. The one thing that every individual have in common on their deathbed is that they're gonna wish they had more time. More time to say, I love you to their loved ones. More time to get their body in shape. Right. More time. So that's exactly what the government gave. Not the government, I'm sorry, that's what God gave us. He gave us more time to do what it is that we need to do, to finally have that freedom. And so forget what the government was talking about, whole 14, you got 14 days, and we didn't know how long we was gonna last for. But I was telling people on the first day, you don't know how long this is going to last. I was like, go in on whatever it is. Go in on your body. Go in, you know, I got my 5 pillars, right? I got faith, family, finances, fitness, and freedom. Those are the 5 pillars of my life. And I said, during this time period, I'm going to work on all 5. Mm-hmm. I'm going to come out of this better than when we went into it. And so during that time period, CJ called me up and he was just like, bro, man, that hole 14 is serious. He's like, bro, when you was in the hole, you was reading books. And I was like, yeah, I was reading a lot of books. And he was like, bro, while we in the hole, we need to create a book.
Crazy. Think about that. It's so real. And, you know, before we get into the process of the book, maybe I should explain to y'all why I thought this book needed to come out. And I'll go back to kind of the start of our relationship. First of all, I want y'all to think about something. Maul, I didn't know it at the time, but Maul was already a multi-millionaire, had 4 multi-million-dollar businesses, and yet was front row at every single conference that E and I ever had. He was front and center with a notepad. Matter of fact, we got a picture of Maul at one of the conferences, front and center with a notepad. So I always used to see him, and I was like, you know, again, like many of you, if you've ever been to an event, we try to stick around, of course, pre-COVID, you know, stick around, shake everybody's hand, say what's up, you know, talk. And Maul, of course, he came once, twice, 3 times, and then you kind of look at him, you know, he don't look like the average bro. He over here, you see, he wear the medium shirts. So you know, he was a presence, right? But he always came up to me. It was like, CJ, what's up, man? And you know, after a while, I started to know who he was. And every time I would ask him who he was, he'd be like, man, I'm just a cop from Chicago. So I literally saved his number because I was like, yo, he seemed like a cool guy. Like, take my number down. You know what I'm saying? If I'm ever in Chicago, you know, I hit you up. So he was like, bet. And so I saved in my phone under Chicago cop Jemal, right? And so it was in my phone. Like I literally just changed it not that long ago. But it was, so I was like, man, this dude's a police officer. Cool. So more and more conferences he started coming to. And in my mind, y'all, I'm thinking, dog, this is the richest police officer in the world because he kept coming and he was going VIP. Like we would have like a VIP plus, a VIP platinum. And he had the blowout package every single time and was bringing people with him. And I would keep asking him like, yo, what do you do? He's like, yo, I'm a cop. And I'm like, yo, come on, dog, be for real. So if the straw that broke the camel's back, my little cousin Morgan, shout out to Morgan if she's on the live. She was in Miami. I think it was a marriage conference, something along those lines. And I was like, hey, what'd you do last night? It was Saturday morning. She was like, actually, the whole day yesterday, we went out on a yacht. And I was like, you went out on a yacht? I was like, dang, that was, and she was like, yeah, you know Jemal? And I was like, the police officer? And she was like, yeah, he chartered a yacht and all of us went out on the yacht for the day and we got jet skis. And so y'all gotta think in my head what I'm thinking at this moment. Like seriously, put yourself in my shoes and you saying, okay, now where I come from, cops, you make 35, 40, 50, $60,000. So I'm thinking, I'm doing math in my head. I'm counting his pockets, which is something I pride myself on not doing, right? I don't like to look at another man's wallet, but I couldn't help it. Y'all just sitting here like, yo, I'm flabbergasted. Dude done been to LA, Miami, he all over. And, you know, some of these packages ain't cheap. And so finally, man, after she told me that, I was like, yo, wait till I see this dude again. Sure enough, here he come walking down the hallway and I grabbed him up like, hey, bro, what do you do, bro? And he was like, yo, why you keep asking me that? See, I told you I'm a police officer. And I was like, dog, that can't be it. And so long story short, you know, I start, you know, interrogating him, ironic because he was the police officer, but I started interrogating him and he was like, man, well, you know, I do real estate and I found out he owned hundreds of properties. I found out that him and his brother had built a multi-million-dollar security company. His wife and him had started a chain of daycares, an incredible chain of daycares in Chicago. And he had all of these other multi-million-dollar income streams. And I went, whoa. And I was like, I was mad though, because I was like, but I thought you said you was a cop. After all of that, I'm still like, yo, you told me you was a cop. And he was like, CJ, I'm a cop. I was like, what? I was like, right now. He was like, matter of fact, I got to be to work Monday morning. I was like, what? So imagine how my mind is just blown, y'all. I'm literally like blown away. And obviously after that, man, Maul and I, we were already cool. You know, he started to explain it. And I was like, yo, I don't know why, but I feel like the world needs to hear this story. And he told me why he kept his job, and he told me the things that he was doing. I'm not trying to be funny, and I hope Camille don't care. Like, we are in his nightclub in his house. Like, I'll show y'all this whole joint. Like, it's a bar over here. Like, it's crazy. Like, this dude has an 18,000 square foot house and is a full-time Chicago police officer making millions of dollars. Okay, he retired a year ago. Okay, but in my mind, I'm going, yo, this is the most inspirational story I think I've ever heard. Because where I come from, if you blue collar and you a police officer, there's nothing wrong with that. Honorable profession, whatever. But that's what you are. That's all you are. You police officer, you go home, right? If you're a teacher, you teach, you go home. And I think because of where I'm from, I'm very blue collar myself. I was so inspired by the story because I always thought either you have to be an entrepreneur or you got to be blue collar. And he did both. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. You got 4 multi-million-dollar income streams. You got a wife who you've been with since y'all was teenagers. You got 2 daughters and a son, and you still find time to run all of these companies. What's people's main excuse as to why they can't build their multi-million-dollar dreams?
Oh man, I get no time. I don't have time. I don't have the time.
Got to go to work, man. My job. And I was like, yo, this is what it is. We're going to have to bring this to the world. And that's when I said, yo, you the 9 to 5 millionaire. And I said it on the phone, and we didn't even know it would stick. And I was like, yo, the world needs to hear that story. And so as you've been seeing, Maul's been teaching people real estate. He's been, obviously in preparation for writing this book. And then Maul, I'll let you talk about the actual, when we started and just said, all right, cool, we're going to put this in there. Tell them what the book is about. Tell them the process, like the whole journey. Never wrote a book before, obviously. First one, how was it?
You know what? It was, all right, so for all my real estate people out there, I looked at writing a book just like you would renovate a property, right? The first thing that you do, you start with the blueprint. Mm-hmm. And I think at first it was so overwhelming. Here it is, I'm renovating all these properties. My house, 18,000 square feet, and I renovated that house without even sweating. But then all of a sudden it was time to do a book. And I was like, oh man, how are we gonna do a book? I've never done a book before. And then once we broke this thing down like real estate, in real estate, the first thing you do is start with the foundation, not just in real estate, but even in life. You start with the foundation always. You start with the blueprint. You start with the destination, where you're trying to go. And then so once we said, this is what I want the reader to know. Like, this book is not about me, guys. I mean, cool, we celebrating right now. We partying, we're talking about my story, but this is about you. So that was the hard part about this book. It was where it was my way of going. I went in. I think that God had me stay in my blue collar job so that I can document each step, so that I can go back and reach back and grab all my other 9-to-5ers. You know, we talk about the 1%. You know, we had a conference this year called the 1% Conference. And it was cool. I'm on stage, I'm sitting there, I'm talking, yeah, cool. I'm part of the 1%. But the thing about it is, I was born to the 99%. You know, the 99%ers are the ones that actually work the hardest. You know, the 99%ers are the ones that run this country. They run this country so much that they gave us the name essential workers, right? You're essential, because the country can't run without you. And so, but at the same time, I'm like, I want my 99%ers to taste. I want you to still be essential and still do what you do, but I want you to taste that other side at the same time. And that's what this book is all about. It's about going through the steps of, while you're keeping your 9-to-5. 99% of influencers, 99% of these people out here, they're gonna tell you to quit your job. You gotta step out there. If you really wanna make it in life, you gotta just step out there. And I'm like, I'm just listening to this stuff, and I'm like, hold on, bro. Like, man, people got kids. People got bills. Yep. People got spouses. And I know if I ain't have all this other stuff, my spouse wouldn't want me just to quit my job and just step out there. You know, I'm like, look, it's a process. Why do you have to quit your job? Why you can't keep your job and still have all of this stuff? And that's exactly what we broke down in this book. Like, we literally broke it down, the mindset behind it. You know, a lot of times, and the reason was, some people say that they can't work a job and create a business. And this book breaks it down to the point where your job is nothing more than your vehicle. Now, is people on here and got 3-4 cars in their garage. I don't care if it's a hoopty. I don't care if you got your nice car, you got your mid, you got your truck that you take out in the wintertime. You got your hoopty that you run back and forth to your Home Depot or places like that. That's what a job and businesses are.
Yeah.
Everything I have is nothing more than a vehicle. And I think that's why people get depressed at work.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was able to work my job for 20 years. Is because my job was not the destination. I need y'all to hear this. This is why you getting up every single day on Monday and you're depressed. You're depressed because you are making your job the destination. When your job is nothing more than the vehicle that's going to eventually get you to your destination. Once you know what your destination is, now you can match up and you can write down what vehicles you're going to need to get you there the quickest. So the police department for me was like my Toyota Camry. That was a car that's not flashy. And I ain't talking about no 2020 Toyota Camry. I'm talking about like a 1993. It wasn't flashy. It's not, I couldn't let the top down, but they didn't have rims.
No rims.
It was just, as a matter of fact, it was green in color and it was a hand-me-down from my brother. But it would start every single day. Rain, sleet, snow, or shine, it will start. It was dependable. It would start. That's what my job was. But then I went and started investing in real estate. Real estate. Now that was my Cadillac Escalade. You know what I'm saying? I was driving pretty with real estate. I was driving pretty with and that Cadillac made me feel different when I used to go to the same destinations. And then my next vehicle was the daycare centers, the chain of daycare centers. Oh man, now we on a jet. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we flying first class now. The daycare center had us flying first class. Another vehicle to get to that next destination. But see, the difference is certain vehicles can only get you so far. I need somebody to hear that. I couldn't drive that Toyota Camry to Hawaii. It wouldn't get me there. But yet it could get me to the airport. And then that plane now can get me to Hawaii. And so that's what you guys need to start doing. You need to start understanding that your job is nothing more than a vehicle and that you need several vehicles to get to these several destinations that you're going to have throughout your life. And that's what this book does. It broke it down step by step, and just showing you how to create different vehicles in your life.
Yeah, no, man. This is the book 9 to 5 Millionaire, man. Man, there's so many great stories in here, so many pictures. Why don't you? I'm not going front. We got wifey in the building, and we don't have to bring her up this second. We could wait a minute, but why don't you talk about Camille, man? That's one of my favorite sections in the book. You talk about how y'all met. You and your beautiful wife, man. Why don't you let the people know how that chapter worked out?
Yeah, so everybody that know me understand that everything, and guys, hear me, everything I do is an investment. And so I just thank God that I actually met I met the best investment that I've ever made. I made that at the youngest age. Ain't that something, y'all? The best investment out of all the investments I've ever made in my life, my biggest investment that's been paying dividends was when I met my wife in school. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
I was 15, 16 years old. And it's so crazy because we both had art class. We were in high school together, went to the same high school. And we had art class together. Yeah. And, they had us at the art table. And my last name is King. Her last name was Jones. And so JK, they had us right across from each other, right? And me and her was just, she was cool. We would talk. And, what I'm saying? My side, it's called his story, right? His story. So she was playing footsie with me under the table, kicking my feet. And she would tell a whole nother story, y'all. So, but that's why it's called his story.
You
They
know what
call
I'm
her story. It's called history.
Right.
And so, she would, talking to me, we'd be talking just so much. And I remember, here I am, top football player, got scholarships all across the country. And right next door to the art class was wood shop. And my football coach, Coach Jerka, he was the wood shop teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And the art teacher was just like, she pulled me out the class and was like, Jemal, you're a top student here. You're a top football player. You're going places in life, and you're gonna fail this class by messing with talking to that girl that's sitting across from you. And I remember like, okay, yep, all right, I'm gonna do better. And then the second we got back in class again, it was something about her. And I just started back talking to her again, didn't care. And then sure enough, they kicked me out of art class and they put me in wood shop. But let me show you how God worked. So here it is. I was sitting next. That's what I say, God will show you previews throughout your life. Here it is. I was sitting next to my future wife. And then the classroom next door, when I got kicked out for talking to my future wife, they put me into wood shop class where I learned about construction.
My.
I can't even make this up.
You can't make that stuff up, man. And then, obviously, and they can read the book, but y'all go on to get married, have beautiful children, things of that nature. Talk to us about, I think we hear a lot about the real estate, but you talk about the daycare quite a bit in the book, and you had no prior knowledge. And I think that's just a crazy story of how you guys had this vision of what you wanted to come to pass for the community. But actually, when you went in to get a loan, they shut you down. Talk about that process.
Yeah, isn't it the craziest thing for all y'all that ever went out and got loans, try to get a business loan? The bank. When I went to the bank, here it is now, I got all this real estate, and the crazy part is this is when I first found out that I was a millionaire. The banker told me I need to come there with my portfolio. I didn't know what a portfolio was at the time, right? And so I went ahead and talked to April, my real estate broker, and she went ahead and put all my properties, what the net income was from the properties, what the equity, what the debt was. And then she put it all together. And here it is. I got this portfolio. I walk in there. I got my police uniform on, y'all. I went there right after work. And I walked in there, and his name was Daryl Tucker. I don't know if he watched it, but Daryl Tucker, I'll never forget his name. And I remember sitting at his desk in my police uniform, all dirty. And I brought him my portfolio, and I was like, I want to get a business loan. And my man was like, he looked at me, and he looked at the portfolio, and then he looked back up at me. Then he looked back down at the portfolio. And now keep in mind, y'all, he used to call me Officer King, Officer King, Officer King. This is the first time he called me Mr. King. Wow. He looked at me and said, Mr. King, you're a millionaire. And I was like, I'm in my police uniform. I remember looking at myself like, I am?
Right.
I was like, I am? And he was like, yeah, you're a millionaire. He was just like, you got a net worth of $1.6 million. And I was only like 26 years old at the time. It was just crazy to me. But the crazy part about it is he still denied us the loan. Wow. And he denied us the loan because he said we had no experience in daycares. So I was like, if you don't never give me the money, then we'll never have experience. Right. And so I went back to what I knew best, y'all. I went back to renovating properties. And we flipped our way to finishing our first property. We would buy a building, we would fix that building up, we would sell it, take 50% of that net income, put it back to buy another property, and take the other 50% and put it into the daycare center.
Wow. And then you did that again with the security company.
And then we did it again with the security company. My brother, Tommy, he's here in the house. Is Tommy here? Yeah. So Tommy, he was working.
Come on over here, Tommy.
Where you at, Tommy?
Yeah, come on, stand behind.
Everybody be hearing about Tommy. So let me show y'all that.
Dear Holyfield.
Let me show you.
He breaking stuff.
He breaking.
Come on,
Look at this, man. Come on.
Yeah, come on, dog.
Yeah. So this is my muscle. I like to call this my muscle, man. This is my big brother. For all y'all seen him on the podcast, heard me talk about him. My brother, a sergeant with the Illinois State Police. And hey, when I say this is the hardest working man, no cap. Hardest working man I've ever met in my life. I wish I had that type of work ethic, but I put my work ethic other places. But Tommy was doing
yeah, why don't you talk about it, Tommy? I mean, y'all started the security company. Maul came to you with this bright idea, and you like, man, what you was just trying to work, your gig. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I've been working a lot of part-time jobs, been in security since when I first started on the job. As soon as I got on, boom, started doing security gigs and stuff. And we were talking about it, and he came up with this idea. We were talking, he was like, well, man, this is something that you do all the time. So he's like, I know you know how to run the intricacies, the security. I was like, yeah, because I see it done. I've been doing it for 20 years. And we take his business experience and my security, being actually doing the security, and it just boom, boom, boom. Hey, let's go get this license.
Yeah.
Let's go get this. Let's go get this. Let's put this together. Action in motion. And then we just went.
And what y'all gonna do? What's the revenue this year? What we looking like?
Man, we up there, dude.
Come on, man. Let people know. Yeah, come on, dog. They want to know.
Hey, y'all,
I'm trying to ask you a question that people want to know. What y'all gonna do?
Let me show you, man. Look, CJ don't understand. Chicago people, man. This is the thing.
Hey,
Chicago people, man. We just do, man.
Listen,
man.
I'm just, hey. Well, is it safe to say we're gonna do millions this year?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Right. We never done nothing less than that.
We gotta hit it though. But hey, it's all about getting things done, trying to help out everybody, keep jobs going, man. Just the economy is kind of so we gotta make sure we help people out get jobs.
I see somebody out here talking about vision, with family. I'm all about that. I'm all about that, man. Look, if your family, it ain't about how many M's you can put in your bank account.
Yeah.
It's about how many family members you can put on. How many people can you put on? And then now, the whole thing about your cup runneth over. So now it's spilling over, not just to my family, but to yours also, to my family out here that's watching us right now, and to my family and Make Real Estate Real and everybody else. That's what it's all about. That's what generational wealth is all about.
Tommy, what you think about your brother book, man?
Oh,
You want to say a couple words, bro?
I didn't read it. Our audio book while I was working. So
yeah.
I like doing the audio book.
What'd you think of the audio book?
No, the audio book was tight.
Yeah.
I liked it. So I basically when I'm working, I sit in the car, I just put it on play on the phone. And man, it was the background music and excitement in the voice and stuff. I'm an audiobook guy.
There you go.
It's cool. It's it's a lot of stuff in the book. Of course, if you guys want, I'm the fact checker in the book. But you know what? Hey, it's funny though. I will tell you this, and I don't know if I mentioned this on a podcast, but Jemal, he got that his personality like, hey, I'm gonna go get it done. You know what I'm saying? So we was kids, right? And my best friend lived 2 doors down. His name was Frankie Critters, and he probably looking at this like, man, he giving me props and stuff. But
shout out to Frankie.
He said, he was like, we was in high school, so I'm 4.5 years older than him. We was in high school. He was playing football. He was on the football team, and Jemal was like, so he couldn't have been in high school. He had to be like maybe 12 or 13. No, it was before high school, so he had to be about 11 or something. But he was like, hey man, you can't play football, man. You too small. You can't play football. And I'm like, dude, what are you arguing with him about?
Yeah.
And so he's focused. So he that type. So you know what he did, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So Jemal don't like people telling him what he can't do.
Yeah.
So he went to all these camps, these football camps and stuff, because he told him, hey, you're never gonna play high school ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he started going to all these football camps and everything. And he started getting these football letters. Then he want to let my man know.
Gotta get him.
Oh yeah,
My
Mr.
man, he
Petty.
played high school ball, but he didn't play college ball. So
Yeah.
he want to let him know, like, hey man, I'm on full ride.
Yeah.
So that's just what he do.
And what about I know tell us the candy apple story. They might not have. When my man was it Taffy Apples?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You told him about that?
No, I know about it, but they don't know about it. Tell them.
Oh,
This
man.
dude right here got a screw loose. Go ahead.
No. So we was at school, and man, hey, Chicago people, it's everywhere. It's bullies everywhere and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm in I had to be in like 3rd, 4th grade, and he had to be in like, I don't know, maybe 2nd, 1st, kindergarten. He was young. No, he was in preschool because you go to preschool or 1st grade. And my man snatched my apples up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, dude was big. I wasn't in high school. I was my man was in 8th grade. I was
Yeah.
like in 2nd grade. So I had to be in 2nd or 3rd grade. But
Yeah.
he took the apples. He wanted to go fight the dude. I'm like, hey man, listen, chill out, dog. You know, it don't work that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But hey, ain't nobody taking my apples now.
Okay. Hey, appreciate you, Tommy. Chicago's finest, Tommy. Yeah, no, man. So, hey, listen, if y'all don't have it, you can go check it out. We got a couple more special guests in the building, man. I know we got some people on live who might want to ask some questions as well. But I don't know if Camille is she ready to make her entrance yet? Come on, come into the stage. You know what I'm saying? We got the whole VIP lounge. Can I show them back there? Y'all want to see? We got the VIP lounge back there. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna show y'all the people back here. Here we go. We're trying to
You can sit down. I'll stand up. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, for sure. I got you. Now listen. Taffy apple, candy apple, same thing. You know, from Lansing. Hey, we call them candy apples.
Do y'all call candy apples?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, here she go.
All right. The real special guest. I'll stay out the way. I don't need to be on camera. I know it's a lot of light.
It's a lot of light.
Got my head shining.
Yeah, just look at the camera. No fault.
Hey, everybody. So this is Camille. I'm gonna stand.
See, she could get close.
Come on.
CJ was trying to get all close to me. No, this is.
Hey. So I'll stay off camera and let y'all, you know what I'm saying, do y'all thing. But Camille, why don't you again? Listen, y'all. Now Camille all day been telling me like, yo, what you gonna ask me? How you gonna ask it? Don't embarrass me. So Camille, we're gonna start with a softball. Let's just start with how you feel about seeing the completion of the book, and you know this is coming to pass. Are you surprised by it? Or are you know what?
No, I am extremely excited about the book. Like Tommy said, he's a fact checker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fact checker as well. So when you guys were in the process of writing the book, I wanted to go through and look for any type of grammar errors,
Mm-hmm.
spelling errors, anything that they could have been like needed to be fact checked. But I'm so proud that he has finished the book and he's able to share his story with the rest of the world.
Yeah, now we know.
Share our story.
Yeah,
of course. She said,
of course. Camille been there since a true day oneer. All right, cool. So let's just talk about the whole process. I know you always say like Jemal always has these wild and crazy ideas. Did you see this coming? Him being not only obviously, doing, amazing things for your family, but imparting this wisdom on the rest of the world, because y'all were going to conferences. Y'all was, showing up to ETA stuff, and little known fact, you're actually the one who put Maul onto ET. Why don't you go ahead and come on?
No.
Okay.
Well, Jemal would wake up every day listening to ET. And of course, he's an early riser. I stay in bed a little bit longer. So I would always hear this loud voice every single day. And of course, I had to ask him, who are you listening to? So he told me a little about who he was listening to.
Tell the truth. You said, who is that man yelling? You was like, who is that man yelling every single morning? I know you on here, E. She was like, who is that man screaming?
I was on social media a little bit before Jemal was, so I got a chance to see that there was a conference going on in Connecticut. And so I told Jemal, I was like, oh, that ET guy, he's got a conference coming up. You should go. And he was like, no, okay. He was like, yeah, I'll go. He was like, won't you come with me? And I was like, no, I don't really need to go. But you should take Vontrell, our older son, with you. And so I did recommend that he go to the conference, but I wasn't the first one to be on ET. He was definitely the one that put me on as well.
All right. So. Last question, because I know you don't want to be on here for a long, and you're welcome to stay as long as you want. In terms of the craziest ideas that Jemal's had over the years, what was the thing where you were like, okay, you're going too far now? Like, this is too much. You're going too far. When was that moment where you were like, okay, this is crazy, but obviously it ended up working out?
It's probably been too many to name. Because he has a lot of ideas, big ideas. And I've always said that he is the dreamer. He's the one with all of these goals and ambitions and dreams. And I just feel like my responsibility is to support the dream. And I'm comfortable in that role. We have succeeded in that role. And ultimately, I just want our marriage, I want our partnership to be a testament of what God can do when two people get together and they follow him. And as long as I'm comfortable in that, then I think we're okay. But he has a lot of grand ideas. The idea to put a tennis court outside, a pool here, and well, let's move here and let's do that. And it's just like I don't get in the way.
Yeah.
So I may not have all those ideas, but I just feel like my role is just to support it. And at this point, he's got a pretty good average. So as long as he keeps putting up the numbers, then I'll keep supporting, So
batting 1,000, y'all.
Anything you want to say to your wife? You know what I'm saying? I'm done. I just wanted a couple questions.
Couple questions. No, I don't know if I want to ask her a question. I might want to give a statement.
Oh, go ahead. Come on.
No, I wish I could put a ring on your finger. You know what I'm saying, y'all?
Really?
Shit, I wish I could put a ring on her finger again,
you
but
can.
no, but
I'll take it.
no, you have been with me through the whole journey, and it's been unbelievable. Everything that we've said has come to pass, and I think that is important for the people out here to see and just understand how we work together. Mm-hmm. A lot of people talk about, when they get married, they say the two shall become one. And a lot of people think that process takes place the second you put a ring on the finger. And me and Camille used to always talk about how it's a process. It's a process. The two shall become one. And I don't know when it happened, but I think during that process of having faith, during that process of working together, going through trials and tribulations, we became one. And I think that was just like, that's really what marriage is really about. When you can become one together, one accord, one heartbeat. And I believe that somewhere down the road, I don't know exactly when it took place, but I know it took place. And I thank you for always allowing me to be me, and for allowing me to not really step on my dreams, not step on my crazy faith. And no, it meant a lot. And I'm just, man, these last 25 years have been crazy. And I can only imagine what the next 25 years is going to look like with you. So thank you. I love you. And let's do it.
I love you too. Thank you for being for being a man of vision, and thank you for really leading our family in the right direction. Thank you for not taking advantage of my trust in you, not taking advantage of my support for you. Thank you for being the rock of the family, the guidance of the family, just for being you. Thank you for being my best friend. Like I said before, we got a picture downstairs. It's just the two of us, and it says, I love us. And so I love us. I love everything that we stand for. I love the example that we're trying to set for our children. I love our future. I love our past. I just love you.
Let's go.